Christmas, etc.
This was the first COVID press conference at number 6 in 8 months. But the rise of Omicron has led to fears about the rising number of cases impacting the festive season. There are 488 active cases, but only 3 in hospital, and 1 a baby who was admitted for other reasons. The other hospitalizations are 2 men of the same age. One of them vaccinated, who is relatively well, the other unvaccinated out of choice, who has had to be ventilated and intubated in CCU. This, said the Chief Minister, was a clinical example of the importance of being vaccinated and how it can protect you from severe illness.
It is very, very, very likely that if he had been vaccinated, he would not have required intubation and ventilation.
Omicron is 70 times more contagious than Delta and is spreading through our community fast. In fact, even though it cannot be confirmed yet because of the 3-day lag in genome testing, it is suspected to be the dominant strain already. And yet, unlike last year, there is no lockdown during Christmas and no new restrictions. This, said Fabian Picardo, was because of the high rate of vaccination and the decision made earlier this year to cancel all large-scale public events.
It is very important that everyone has the COVID vaccine booster shot. Vaccines are humanity's shields against infection. By having them, we act in community and we show that we care for each other. By having them, we protect ourselves and we protect each other.
The Chief Minister confirmed that an inquiry into the management of the pandemic would be carried out next year, although there are no details as of yet. He also confirmed in answers to GBC questions that the government was looking at the possibility of wide-scale lateral flow tests, although there were concerns about less than efficient tests, and there was a need to be careful about how it was done.
It's better to be boosted than to do a lateral flow test telling you whether you're negative or you're positive, because if you're boosted, you're very likely to be negative. We had to make a choice about what we did. We are a small administration, tested to the limits over and over again for the past 22 months. So we could have done that, but then we wouldn't have been able to do what we've done. And what we've done is the best possible thing for every Gibraltarian, which is to push the vaccination program.
Mr. Picardo also acknowledged the UK's change in strategy from 10-day isolation periods to 7-day periods, based on new scientific advice, and said we were looking at that here as well. He also said Gibraltar was looking at vaccine passports as a possibility in the future, if the choice was between requiring vaccination proof or establishments having to shut down.
If you say to the people of Gibraltar, look, the choice is simply to shut all catering again, or to require people who go to catering establishments to show that they are vaccinated, and to require those who work in catering establishments to show that they are vaccinated, so that you create in each catering establishment a bubble of the vaccinated, which is safer than having the presence of the unvaccinated in those circumstances. I think people would say, well, look, in those circumstances, you should have those controls for access to those areas.
The Chief Minister urged those who had their doubts about the vaccine to speak to medical professionals and not to take their advice from politicians, social media, Google or YouTube. He wished the population a happy Christmas but urged them to be prudent, careful and safe.